Mike is stuck in a dead-end job that he hates. His co-workers don't really respect him, and his boss is always so rude to him. Mike wonders what's the point of working so hard for so little recognition and so little freedom. He sees those people online, living a life of complete freedom and abundance. One day, Mike decides to reach out to one of them, and he asks the guy what he does for a living. I have my own online business. That's when Mike realizes that in order to become truly free, he needs to start his own online business too. But with all of the information that is available on the internet, Mike is very quickly overwhelmed. He doesn't know what to do. Where should he start? If we haven't met before, my name is Fred, and just a couple years ago, I was still broke and completely depressed. I hated my life. Fast forward to today, I'm now running a profitable online business and living a life I never thought I could have. And that is why, in this video, I want to share with you the 8 fundamental business lessons I wish I knew earlier, because I can guarantee that if you apply those business lessons, you will be able to get to $10,000 a month a lot faster than you think. Lesson 1. You need to give people what they want. I have learned from many successful people, whether it be through books, through online courses, through seminars, and one of them in particular had made over $90 million with his own company. He was under 30 years old, so that was impressive. One thing I learned from him is that as long as he was trying to force services or products down people's throats, he never made any money. It's only when he asked people what they wanted and actually gave it to them that he was handsomely rewarded for it. Understand this, in business, no one cares about you. People will not give you their money just to please you. The only time someone's going to pull out their credit card and buy from you is when you can offer a service or a product which is very valuable, and in their eyes it has to be more valuable than the price they're willing to pay for it. The example I give all the time is that if you go to the supermarket, you want to buy an apple, and when you get to the cash register, it says that you're going to need to spend $500 for that apple. Who will buy the apple? No one. Are you going to buy it? Probably not. It's because the value provided by the apple is far inferior to the price it is sold for. So naturally, the transaction will never occur. Zig Ziglar said, if you give other people what they want, you will have everything you've always wanted. And I completely agree with that statement. The reason why so many businesses fail is because they try to come up with ideas of what people might like. Unlike a lot of people think, to make $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month, even $1 million a month. Yes, $1 million a month. You don't need to invent the next revolutionary thing. You don't need to do something which has never been done before. You simply need to solve a particular problem for a specific type of person. To give you an example, you could help busy executives to get in shape. That's a valuable transformation. You could help e-commerce brands to get more leads and more customers, to grow their brand, their monthly revenue. Same thing. That's an insanely valuable transformation. Lesson 2. Growth isn't linear, it's exponential. Guess what is the #1 cause for failure in any area of life? Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'll tell you the answer. People simply quit way too soon. They quit before it's their time to shine, before they get lucky. I can tell you that I've been through many dark periods in my life. Sometimes I had no idea if I was ever going to come out on the other side. But for some reason, I always kept pushing because I knew I can achieve greater things. I knew I was destined for more. I had this crazy ability to believe in myself, even when no one else would, and even when my reality was a complete disaster. Because I always had this thought in the back of my head. I thought, what if tomorrow was the day that will change my life forever? What if tomorrow my business was going to take off? One day I was on Instagram and I stumbled upon this picture of 2 guys mining for diamonds. One is going hard, he's about to get what he wants, and the other, he was working really hard, but then he gave up. But if he just kept going for a little while, he would have gotten so much more. But the thing is, he will never know because he gave up. You never know how close you are to getting what you want. You're not allowed to quit. Successful people are stubborn people. They refuse to take no for an answer until they get what they want. And that is one of the fundamental traits that allowed them to become so successful. Because trust me, if you want to achieve great things, to make lots of money, to get in shape, you will get kicked in the face 10,000 times. What you want to do during the extremely tough phases in your life is to trick yourself into continuing, into putting in the work even if nothing seems to be working, by setting a goal which makes it completely unreasonable for you to fail and to not get what you want. For instance, if you run a service-based business, tell yourself you will only ever allow yourself to quit until after you've reached out to 100,000 people. If you're trying to build a brand on social media, tell yourself you will only ever be allowed to quit after you have published 3,000 pieces of content. Chances are you'll get results way before you reach that limit anyway, and in the end, you'll forget you ever felt like quitting in the first place, because you'll start to get results, and now you'll keep going. You'll do it out of pleasure, out of love for the game. But sometimes you need to be smarter than your own physiology. You need to trick your brain into going the extra mile. Hell Week is known to be one of the toughest Navy SEALs training protocols, and in fact, if you don't complete Hell Week, you can't become a Navy SEAL. If I remember correctly, they get 4 hours of sleep during the entire week. Like, not 4 hours a night, 4 hours of sleep in those 7 days. That is insane. They did some blood tests, and the Navy SEALs had lower testosterone levels than 12-year-old girls. I mean, realize just how much it's destroying their bodies. Yet they managed managed to actually go through it, overcome all the obstacles, and become Navy SEALs. I read plenty of books written by Navy SEALs because I wanted to discover how I could be more disciplined and have more willpower. I wanted to have a better mentality and be able to burst through any obstacle on my path. But the common trait between all successful Navy SEALs is that they focused on the present moment. Instead of thinking, oh my god, I have to do this for an entire week, this and this and that, they focused on finishing the exercise they're doing right now. They didn't think about what was going to happen the next day, otherwise they would have quit. Growth isn't linear, it's exponential. It can be very frustrating to put in a lot of hard work and barely see any results. You barely see any progress. You're wondering if you're not doing something wrong. But when this happens, you need to stand your ground. Know that it's a matter of time. The only way that you can really overcome this is by being mentally prepared for it. If you know in advance, okay, growth is going to be exponential. For the first couple of months, I might not see immediate results. When you know that, you'll expect it, and it's not going to hit you as hard. Lesson 3. It's going to take more time, hard work, and persistence than you think, but the outcome is worth everything. Nowadays, with social media, we are led to believe that we can become extremely successful in just 90 days of easy passive work. This is pathetic. That's not the truth. You can probably tell with this YouTube channel, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. I'm not trying to mislead people and tell them it's going to be the easiest thing in the world. What I am trying to do instead is to open up people to the many possibilities that we have nowadays to make money online and to truly live an incredibly fulfilling life. It's because a guy like me one day made a YouTube video explaining how he made around $50,000 a month or $70,000 a month. I don't remember exactly. And one day, when I was around 12 years old, I stumbled upon that YouTube video. I watched it and it changed my life. So I'm hoping I can do the same with thousands, even millions of people. Now sure, in 90 days you can be more successful than you currently are, but you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be a multi-millionaire. That's not how things work. Truth is, on social media, especially Instagram and TikTok, you only see one part of the equation. If you follow me on Instagram, you see my stories, you might think I have it easy. I'm so lucky. But in reality, no one sees how many dark phases I went through in my life. You don't see how much time I spent working, doing the boring things that I need to do to move forward. I don't have a superhuman level of willpower, trust me. A couple years ago, I was so depressed I couldn't do anything. The only reason I'm able to do so much nowadays is because I know why I'm doing things. And until you find that powerful reason why that makes you jump out of bed in the morning, it's going to be very tough to get what you want. I've only been able to live this kind of life because I decided to start my own online business. If you too want to start your own online business, you have no clue where to start. I've recorded a free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together, we'll be taking a look at the pros, at the cons, and I'm also going to share with you, for completely free, the 3-step process that you can use to get your first customers as quickly as possible. If you're interested, there's the link in the description below. Lesson 4. Volume negates luck. Let me tell you that if you just rely on luck to become a successful businessman or businesswoman, you are most likely never going to get there. You need to make your own goddamn luck. Most successful people did not inherit their wealth. They had to build it. They had to do something. It's easy to look at a successful person and to assume that they got lucky. But you don't see all the hard work, all the gruesome sacrifices they had to make in the past to get to where they are today. At the time I'm recording this video, we have 1,400 subs on YouTube, something like that. In the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. But even then, you would be surprised to learn that we are already in the top 26% of all YouTube channels. Most YouTube channels will never have 1,000 subscribers. And if you're wondering what it looks like to be in the top 1% on YouTube, you only need 95,000 subscribers. Most of the videos you see are made by big creators with millions of followers, or at the very least, hundreds of thousands of followers. It's because the top 20% makes 80% of the money. They get 80% of the views. Just like in anything else in life, the 80-20 principle applies. One day we'll have 1 million subs, 2 million subs, hell 3 million subs, and guess what? Plenty of people will look at me and say, I got lucky. But if you are here watching this video, you are with me from the start. We are in together on this journey. And what those people are not saying is that I'm working 7 days a week. Unlike most people in their 20s, I decided to skip the partying, clubbing, BS lifestyle and instead get to work because I knew I had to work and to make sacrifices to build a better life for myself and for my loved ones. And now I help other ambitious individuals from all over the world to do the same. So if there is one insanely valuable lesson I have learned in business, it's that volume negates luck. There is no way, if you keep working at something relentlessly for months, for years, you don't become successful at it. And in fact, you'll become so successful at it, it's going to shock you. When people say, oh, this and that, it doesn't work. Most of the time, it's not because that thing actually doesn't work. It's because people quit way too soon. They're not willing to stick with something for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Understand this. Nowadays, we have an insane opportunity. It's the internet, social media. Back then, if you wanted to become a millionaire, you were coming from a low-income background, a middle-class background. That was almost impossible. And if you even did manage it, you would have needed to have the right connections, enough money to start your business, and it would have taken you your entire life of slave like ours. Nowadays, people become millionaires in 3 years with social media. It is insane. So do more. Go the extra mile. Everything you want, it's on the other side of hard work. And trust me, it is worth it. worth it. It is worth it being able to wake up and pick your own schedule. It is worth it being able to take the people that you love out to dinner and pay the bill because you can afford to. It is worth it to take the person that you love out on a beautiful vacation because you don't have a boss that says you have to be at the office at this hour and you have to ask me when you want to take a vacation. So while you might not see immediate results in the short term, if you don't quit and if you put in the work, you keep getting better at your craft, on the long term you definitely will. So don't be like most people. Don't quit before it's your time to shine. Lesson 5. Attention is everything. You could be selling the best products, the best services in the entire world, but if nobody knows that your company exists, you won't make a single sale. Some companies are selling lower quality products and services than you do, yet they make 10 times, even 100 times the amount of money that you do. Why? Because they have more attention than you do. And that is why building an online brand is probably your most valuable asset. The more attention you can acquire, the more money you're guaranteed to make. I mean, going viral is what allowed somebody like Andrew Tate to make over $100 million per year with one of his products. So that goes to show you the insane potential that comes with having a lot of attention. A lot of business people are going to tell you need to focus on making better products. And that's completely true. However, they forget to tell you one thing. Attention comes first. If you don't have customers, it's going to be very tough to know what to improve upon. You need to get the feedback of customers to make your product better. But until you have customers, you don't know what to improve. Lesson 6. Become an insatiable learner. Do you want to know what is preventing you from going from $0 to $10,000 a month? You don't know what to do. You don't have a step-by-step process that you can follow to reach your goal. Now, some people might be knowledgeable in certain areas. Let's say you have conducted sales calls before. You might know how to do that. But ask yourself, what is the difference between a billionaire and a millionaire? If a billionaire lost everything tomorrow, they would probably still be able to get back up to make a lot more money faster than a millionaire because they know things that millionaires simply don't know. Life is a crazy game with so many levels. But one thing is sure, every single successful person is an avid learner. Some of them like to read, some of them prefer to have direct conversations with other successful people, some like to learn directly on the battlefield, and the wisest do all of that at the same time. Either way, they don't assume that they know everything and that there is no need for them to learn anything anymore. When you think you know everything, you have signed your downfall, because a hungry competitor who is humble, willing to learn, he will destroy you. And many studies have shown people who have a higher level of education typically make more money than people who have a lower level of education. And that's why at Consulting Fastlane, we provide our members with the latest information on sales, how to find a niche, service delivery, customer acquisition, outbound marketing, inbound marketing, because the success of our members is our lifeblood. Now, people say knowledge is power. That's true, but only if you take massive action. If you have all the knowledge in the world in your head, but you don't do anything with it, it's utterly pointless. So learn, but then take massive action. Lesson 7. Reinvest massively in the business. When you hit your first $10,000 a month, now is not the time to relax. Now is not the time to go out to dinner more and more often, to go and start to wear some Gucci. Now is the time to scale your business to $100,000 a month. Don't be like the foolish people who start to spend more and more money and then they lose everything. When I started my own online business, my goal was not to flaunt Lambos, and it still isn't. My goal was to have peace of mind, to know I would have the freedom and the ability to keep doing what I was doing for years to come. I didn't just want to make a quick buck. I was in it for the long term. People who have shiny object syndrome, it's typically because they are trying to make a quick buck right now. They're short-term oriented, so they never stick to anything, because every single business model is going to take time to succeed. But they're going to start, let's say, a dropshipping business for 1 week, then they will start consulting, then they will start YouTube automation, and they will never become successful because they never give enough time for each business model to work. Lesson 8. Be prepared for the ups and downs of business. Having your own online business is great. It has changed my life and the lives of dozens of thousands of people from all over the world in a way that I can't even describe it because it's so profound. But one of the downsides with having your own online business is that most likely your income is going to fluctuate from one month to the next. On some months, to give you an example, you'll get a spike in your revenue. You could hit $30,000 a month. One month you could make $300,000, and then you're back to $80,000 a month for the next 3 months. Then you'll get another big spike or dip. It really depends. The way around that is to know what is coming. If you expect that your revenue is going to be fluctuating, when it does, it's not going to be as hard to deal with emotionally and psychologically because you will know what to expect. It's normal. You want to look at your business like you would look at a stock market graph. The goal is to see an upward trend for years, for decades. It would be extremely misleading to take a look at a 30-day period and everything is in the red because you didn't make as much money this month, and so now you assume the business is dying. But in reality, if you were to take a step back, to take a bird's eye view and to analyze the entire year, you would come to realize your sales are up 200% from the previous year. So with the 8 business lessons we went over in this video, I have no doubt you'll be able to reach $10,000 a month much faster than you think.